Hello my kin, my name is Kin Ping, but you can call me Kin, and today I'm back with another Rakarth Beasts Only campaign video for you guys. This is the 7th one in the series, so I think 7th. So like always, if you have not seen the others, then please go watch those, because they'll give context to what we're doing here, and if you don't want to watch all the others, maybe just watch the end of the last one, just to see where we're up to and what's going on and who we're fighting and everything. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Obviously rules in the description. Let's get into it. So last we saw, we had been doing some pretty good damage on the lizard men. We had been taking a few settlements and we're doing pretty well. It's just we had a threat of the Huntsmarshal coming down. One of his big armies was coming down, so we had to make sure that we could protect both sides basically. Tehinawan was looking really strong. He had a good like full stack army. Rakarth was okay, he was healing up from the last battle we had. And Halin here was in the Chamber of Visions, doing pretty well. I was slowly upgrading his army just in case we needed more units when the Huntsmarshal attacked. The garrison for the Chamber of Visions was actually, well, is actually really good. It's just that I'm not sure what kind of troops the Huntsmarshal has. It's 55 turns into the campaign, but you know, you got to be a bit cautious because some factions can get their better units a bit quicker, so we just had to be yeah, like I said, just a little bit cautious. So I started doing some diplomacy with the Skaven, and I thought this was kind of essential because I didn't want to have to fight the Skaven as well, and I didn't have a single ally anywhere, and I knew if I didn't get peaceful with the Skaven, then it would just be absolutely mental because I would have enemies on all fronts. So I decided that maybe giving them the settlement I just took in the last video, getting some money out of them and a military alliance will just give me that little bit extra space to move, and I don't have to worry about stuff that much. So it was the lesser of two evils, I think is how I'd put it. I really don't like Skaven, but Lord Skrulk was tough, and you know, getting that alliance with someone, I had a solid like friendship, well, not sure friendship, you can't really trust Skaven, but I had a solid alliance with these guys now, and I could kind of just relax. They were basically protecting me from Tehinawan because I figured that at the moment the most immediate threat was the Huntsmarshal. But obviously, after becoming friends with the Skaven, it opened up all these other factions. I basically knew everything that was happening in Lustria now. And I knew Luther Harkon, which I could get as many agreements with as I could, basically. I needed to be allies with anyone I could, and the Skaven and Luther Harkon were basically the only people that would give me a chance, so I had to go with them. So after pressing end turn on turn 55, big man Gorok approached me with a diplomatic offer, which was declaring war. So obviously there was nothing I could do about that, but I was now fighting Gorok. I wasn't sure if I actually brought Clan Pestilence into the battle. I don't think I did, but it meant there was someone else for me to fight. I was just lucky that Gorok wasn't as big as I thought he was. I thought Gorok was a lot bigger, but thankfully it seemed like the Skaven or the vampires or something had managed to just keep them in like the middle of Lustria, so they hadn't gotten too crazy, which was really nice. And then Beastmen appeared right in the middle of over there. It didn't really matter at the moment. I was doing okay, and obviously Tehinawan was the biggest threat at the moment. It's just that when Beastmen arrive, they're just that something extra you got to worry about, which I really don't like. And over near the Chamber of Visions, the Huntsmarshal was slowly getting closer and closer. He was raiding, so that was a bummer. But there was no way I was going to go out and attack him. No way. Halin was definitely staying in the settlement. There was no way I was going to attack out of the settlement. You know, it was... the army he had now was nowhere strong enough. Even if the Huntsmarshal had a weaker army, it was not worth it. I decided to actually move Rakarth forward. I figured that there was a good chance I could, you know, maybe do some damage to Tehinawan, because I was confident that Halin would be alright against one army, especially with the settlement garrison. But then I saw Tehenna army, and it was a really good army, and I was not sure if I could take that or not. So I force marched myself out of there. No way was I fighting that, especially if they were going to stay in their settlement. No way. So just to be certain, if in case Huntsmarshal attacked over the end turn, I gave Halin another unit of lions and my war hydra. And now I kind of thought, you know, this army isn't looking too bad at the moment. I also got a non-aggression and trade agreement with the other Skaven faction, which was good, just giving me that extra money basically. At the start of turn 57, I saw that the Huntsmarshal was even closer now, so he was most likely going to be attacking me next turn, which was a real problem. His army, from what I could see, from the 5 units I could see, it didn't look elite, if you know what I mean. It looked like he still had pretty basic units, like good chevrons of course, but it looks like I could deal with it. And I continued to move Rakarth back towards the Mine of the Bearded Skulls. I figured that was going to be the settlement Gorok would attack, if he attacked me of course, so I wanted to get Rakarth there and just hold that. Also the Skaven corruption was kinda arse, but I had to deal with that if I wanted allies. I also decided to upgrade the Mine of the Bearded Skull, which I thought was really important because there was a gold mine there and I needed that. And I gave Halin another unit of lions. At the start of turn 58, Marcus Wolfhart was still just sitting there raiding, which was really shitty. Because he was actually taking a lot of income off me, which I really did not like. And if he was just going to sit there and raid, I wasn't really sure what to do. I mean, eventually I thought I'd get a big enough army that I could attack him, but I really wasn't sure if I could take him now. And I moved Rakarth back to the Mine of the Bearded Skull, and I was actually looking at Gorok's territory, and I figured, that's pretty good raiding, or like just sacking area, because it's left unprotected. Gorok's too busy fighting, I assume, Skaven and Luther Harkon. So I was looking at that and I was like, okay, I could farm that, you know, it would be an easy farm. And I of course decided to get Dominating the Beasts. Very important technology for a run like this, especially now that I'm starting to build buildings that I can actually recruit stuff. Tragedy hit at the start of turn 59 as I realized that the reason Marcus Wolfhart hadn't attacked was because there was another army coming. And no matter how good my army was, I knew I would not be able to fend off 2 full stacks of Huntsmarshal stuff. So that was really frightening. I wasn't exactly sure what to do, so I went over to Rakarth's side of the map and had a look around there. The Skaven and Lizardmen were busy just bashing each other basically. Skaven had the upper hand because there was like 2 factions of theirs. So with Halin and his predicament, I wasn't sure what to do, but the first thing I had to do, which was very small but probably would win me a battle if I fought, I had to get the Regiment of Renown Harpies, which I thought are a pretty good unit. I might as well grab them because there is definitely about to be a battle here. And then I decided that I had to attack Marcus Wolfhart. I had to do it. Gave me a valiant defeat, but I had to do this because if I didn't do this, I risked fighting 2 armies at the same time and I couldn't do that. So I had to do this battle and I had to win. Everything was relying on this. Marcus Wolfhart didn't have the best army, but it was bigger than my one. And yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy this cinematic battle.
Understood! I cannot face this! Brace yourselves!
There we go. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Just a little FYI, I played this battle before the new update, and then I rewatched the replay to record it for you guys after the update, and apparently that caused the game to change completely. So the battle that you guys saw in the replay was, though it was very, very similar to the one that I played, it wasn't actually the same. Like in the replay, the Huntsmarshal didn't actually die, but in this one, in the one I played, he actually did. So obviously I made sure it looked like he died in that, and I hope that was good. But anyway, we just defeated the Huntsmarshal, guys. That's insane. I was buzzing after doing that. I was really, really happy about that. I was building more buildings. We could finally move our monster buildings into our main settlement. And I was really happy. Because if we could defeat that army without the garrison, then we had a much better chance than I thought we did. I think I figured that the monsters were a lot weaker than they actually were. But that was buzzy. I was so proud of that. And then I moved into Gorrock's territory to do some raiding. I was getting a lot of money out of that. And of course, there was always the chance of getting more like dinos, or getting more cold ones or stegodons or something, which would be awesome. And then, what do you know? I got some cold ones, which was awesome. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was an awesome way to end. We were actually winning the battle against the Huntsmarshal. Even though he had two more armies, well, one and a half armies basically coming at me. It's going to be a good next couple episodes, guys. I'll see you next time. Goodbye, my kin.